Hey everyone, welcome to a Nomad Airsoft Team podcast. BBs don't hurt. My name is Chris. I am been airsofting for since 2009. So, math, 14 years?
2009?
14 years?
14 years.
Yeah, 14 years. With me is my co-host and partner in crime here, James. He has been airsofting for
a year.
Okay, so big airsofting for a year. You ever played around with your friends in the backyard?
Oh yeah, I did that, but no real games until last year when you invited me out.
Yeah. We're both U.S. Army veterans. I served for 5 years.
I did 3.5 ish.
We've essentially created our own airsoft team. We'll get into the reasons why. Bigger organization stuff. We'll get into that as well in later podcasts of how we kind of organized the team and what we wanted to do with it. But main reason obviously to get in is one, it's fun to shoot plastic BBs at friends, and two, just kind of we had all this training and why not have fun with it? Yeah. But really that's just introduction to ourselves. Both Army vets. I've been airsofting for a long time. Jimmy's kind of new into it, so you have both perspectives in listening to this. Yeah. So why don't we just jump into why and how we got into airsoft and kind of what we wanted to get out of it. So I'll let Jimmy go first since his will probably be a little shorter.
Yeah, pretty much. Why I got into it? So I was an infantryman when I was in the Army, and I learned a lot of really valuable skills there. And just the further removed I got from actually getting out of the military, the more I realized those skills can kind of go to waste and they can depreciate after a while. So I was like, you know what? I want to find a way where I can maintain some level of skill and proficiency and still have fun with it without the gayness that is the military. So me and Chris have been friends since our time in the military, and he'd always just kind of been trying to get me to go along, and I was kind of like, yeah, all right, whatever. Then I got real into collecting gear and equipment and actual nice equipment. And I was like, well, I got all this gear and I got a desire to maintain these skills. I guess I'll just go play airsoft with little 13-year-olds and light them up on the field. And then the more I did it, the more I realized how fun it is, and you can actually still gain somewhat of a level of proficiency out of it. And it's just it's a good experience to try out new things you maybe haven't tried out before. If you have new pieces of equipment, test it out, see if they actually work how you want them to work. How I got into it, like I said, Chris kind of dragged me into it. I was kind of like, all right, I guess I'll play airsoft. I don't know. You
didn't tell me that. You didn't tell me it was forced.
No, it wasn't forced, but there's always that stigma behind airsoft whenever you do it. It's a kid's game, but thankfully nowadays, the more you research it, the less that is becoming a thing. The more it's becoming a serious kind of kids are obviously still welcome, but it's become more of a arena to actually learn things instead of just get lit up by some 14-year-old running around with a speed gun, to shoot you from the corner. But yeah, it's pretty much that for me. We played our first game at Ballahack, Virginia, which is where I'm from, and I had a lot of fun. We all had a lot of fun, and every game since, it's just learning new things and having a good time with people, making friends, and letting out some steam, if you will.
Yeah. For me, I mean, dude, I started, like I said, back in like 09, 10, and it was with those, the clear plastics.
The spring guns.
The clear plastic spring pistols. You go to like Walmart or Costco or back in California, it was Big Five Sporting Goods, where you go get these plastic pistols. It comes with like blue, 0.12 gram BBs.
Yeah.
That's how I started, just kind of in the woods by like the local parks and stuff with my buddy. Actually, before I got into it, I'll never forget this. One of my buddies, I was on the phone at his house. I had a sleepover. I was on the phone at his house to my parents, and he's goofing around with like, he got like the big clear like plastic spring shotgun. We all thought that was like awesome stuff back then. And he actually aimed it at my face, not thinking there was a BB in it. Oh, no. Pulled the trigger, and I'm on the phone with my parents, and I feel like right below my eye, and I was just like, he's standing there with this blank look on his face, wide-eyed, just like, oh no. Luckily nothing happened, but like that was the first real like airsoft experience. I was like, all right, you know what, now I'm gonna shoot you.
Yeah.
So we kind of would always go out and play in the woods, and then gradually it moved on to going on to e-bike and getting better guns. And like that was really 2009, 2010, like when I started to get the better guns. Like my first gun was like a JG M4, like no rail system, like old school. Like
I had something similar to that. I had an old school like M4 carbine. It was super crap made. It was all like plastic polymer.
Yep.
And that thing was fun. I used to light the kids up in my neighborhood with that one.
Yeah, that's how mine was. Like that was my first gun, and then it just kind of went on from there. And we used to get, at the time, we thought, hey, 4 to 6 people playing was like, oh, this is so cool. It's like a ton of us playing. And like now you go out to, like you said, like Ballack, and there's like 100 people there, and you're like, okay, this is way more. Even going to like Milsims, like through Milsim West, American Milsim, you have those, and it's a couple hundred people on site, and you're just like, okay, this is way cooler. But just kind of developed from there. And then now, obviously, after the Army and being older, you have more money, so you can buy nicer guns.
You get bored with buying all the normal stuff, and you're like, I kind of want to spice it up a bit. I think I'm just going to buy a helmet. Buy some body armor and see where this goes.
Yeah, you just buy a bunch of random stuff. And I still remember I went to like the surplus store back in California and got like an old school like pilot's vest, and like that's what I wore to play. And I thought that was super cool because I had like 3 mag pouches and like a pistol pouch, and I was like, I look so cool on the field.
So one of the old like cross draw webbing.
Yep. I had the cross draw pistol. Yep.
I wanted one of those so bad when I was a kid. I wasn't allowed to have one. But
and then it eventually turned into like more where you're buying better guns and everything, and that's kind of where it is now, where like you just start to get into it, and that's how it's wrapped up into now. It's just like, hey, most of the time, like you're in full kit, just like you are like when you do like a field exercise in the Army or something like that.
Yeah.
And like your rifles basically weigh the same. Mine are now like it's the VFC Mark 18s that are full metal. I have like PEC boxes and flashlights and like sights on them and everything. Yeah. But yeah, that's really just kind of how I got into it. It was just like I said, my buddy shot me in the face one day.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'm hooked. Let's do this.
It snowballs after a while. It's a weird effect. You start playing. I'd always had an obscene fascination with tactical gear when I was a kid because I wanted to be a soldier since I was like 6. And a couple of my buddies had like the old spring shotguns. I used to think they were so cool. And then I got my AEG, and I thought that was cool. And then I found Desert Fox Airsoft online on YouTube when I was a kid. And I was like, this guy's awesome. Not obviously knowing, but yeah. And then I got fully enveloped into that. And then that all went away when I joined the Army because I was just doing that with real guns.
Yeah.
And blanks pretty much. But yeah, no, it's fun now, especially when you actually know stuff. Like you actually know how to get in a fight.
Yeah, I can like move around and everything. Yeah,
proper
exactly.
movement techniques, all that jazz. It becomes a lot more fun, and it becomes a lot more, I feel like, meaningful. Like there's more you can do with it.
Yeah, I could see that coming out of it.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how we got into airsoft. Why really kind of goes into what, you know, I mean, so like, because I took a break essentially from I played a little bit in college, but really like I took a break from like my junior, senior year of college.
Yeah.
So 2015, 2016 until probably 2017 is when I really got back into it in the Army, just because like back where I'm from in California, it was, you know, you'd drive an hour, hour and a half to like Castaic to play like in like at a actual like field.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, you go to Bragg and it's 15 minutes down the road is Black Ops.
Yeah.
So I really didn't get back into it until, like I said, 2017. And that's when it just kind of like that big, massive snowball effect kind of went in, where you go out there and like I rented a gun, and one, you realize rentals are absolute trash. Where it's like, and a lot of the rentals that they had at Black Ops were HPA.
Yeah.
So you're just like, but they suck. So you're just hearing like the whole time when you're shooting, not like actual nice HPA guns. But you play with that and you're like, okay, I want to get my own that doesn't suck.
Yeah.
That's not, you know, lobbing BBs 30 feet, then dropping.
It hits a leaf and then your BB bounces back at you. How does that even happen?
So that's when I think the first gun I bought, because I didn't bring any of my guns out to North Carolina from California from there.
Yeah.
And so the first gun I bought was like a Tittman. It was like the Tittman M4. Because I was like, I am not going to spend, I think it was like $250 around there. I was like, I'm not going to spend a ton of money right now on guns. Because like I don't know if I'm going to fully jump back into it. And then, you know, I did. And that's when I started upgrading to the guns that are like $400 to $500 plus. You know, you do all your teching and everything on them where you're adding better barrels, buckings, you know, gears, everything like that, which for our listeners who have done airsoft teching, I feel your pain because it sucks. And who haven't, don't get into it because you can go down a rabbit hole and it's very stressful, which is why we just have one of our friends do it for us.
Then you end up breaking your own gun.
Yeah, and you end up breaking your own gun. You can't get the shims right if you're putting in new gears. That's just a whole rabbit hole we could jump down with airsoft teching, which we'll do an episode on airsoft teching.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that jazz yet.
It's horrible.
I don't want to do it.
I wouldn't blame you.
You keep sending me stuff, and I'm like, I don't want to.
Well, the stuff I've sent you though is like a barrel, bucking, and nub, which that's super easy to put in. I will do that for you. Which you need to get that too, by the way, because you need your gun to be better.
I probably do.
But or you just buy a new gun.
I do. I want to buy that new 416.
But okay, yeah. Well, we digress. But generally, like why we got into it was really just like play with friends.
Yeah.
Like that's really what it was. Like you go down a rabbit hole and you have so much fun with your friends, even if like you know. You're at a toxic field and you have to deal with that stuff and everything. Like you still are just like, you make jokes about it with your friends and it just kind of makes you want to come back and play.
Yeah.
Although I've never had any of that at Ballahack.
No, Ballahack's so chill.
Because the admins actually do their job.
Yeah, they're smart. They're not stupid or like gay about what they do. They're very they're very reasonable, which is nice. Which actually, I found out there's actually a bunch of airsoft YouTube creators who have a vast following that actually play at Ballahack, and I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, because remember, like the big one, like Navrich is that sniper from. I want to say Czech Republic. I think he's Czech. No, he's Austrian. I'm sorry. He's Austrian.
It's one of those weird European countries.
Yeah, whatever.
Nobody cares about.
But yeah, he's Austrian. Yeah, because their headquarters is in Vienna. But like I think he's Austrian. I don't know. Any of our listeners can say what he is, so we actually get it right. But like he went to Ballahack, and I think when he was there, Ballahack had like a couple hundred people on site for that. Mm-hmm. And there's actually a YouTube video that he put on his channel of him and it's him, Navrich, Chris, and his like basically partner does all the airsoft stuff on YouTube. Joseph or Yosef as they say because of their accent, but like it's him and Yosef like riding around on a jet ski on the like Ballahack Lake. Like that's like shooting at players. Like that was their whole thing. So like I know for that, like obviously there's there's a ton of content out there, which like I mean realistically for me, like I know there's a number of American airsoft content creators, but I mean personally I don't watch their stuff just because like I don't know, we'll get into this into another in another episode, but like just kind of pilot episode, obviously going through everything. It seems like airsoft in the US is a lot more toxic than airsoft overseas in like Europe and stuff. I could be wrong. Yeah. But like just from the videos I've seen, it just kind of seems like it. I don't know.
There's probably just there's a different mentality between us and Europeans. We are definitely more of an aggressive people.
Yeah, back-to-back World War champs, dude.
We're known to be a little bit aggressive throughout the world. But yeah, no, there's this one guy who actually goes to Ballahack and he does this thing where he's like, hey, I'll give you this like kind of shitty pistol or whatever's in this case.
Oh.
And then somebody will be like, oh, I don't know the case. And it'll open up. It'll be like a $300 MP5 or something like that.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of this stuff get recommended to me on YouTube not too long ago. And I'm like, yo, wait a minute. I saw the, what's his name? Blonde guy from Ballahack with the beard, the main marshal that they
Oh, yeah.
I saw him do it to him. I'm like, wait a minute. It felt like that Leonardo DiCaprio moved up. Where he whistles at the TV.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but back to, why. Like, I mean, really play with friends is the big thing. Like, when I go and, like, dude, even at, like, Black Ops, they'll try to be like, all right, well, I pick, like, team captains. Like, I want, like, you. And I'm like, oh, well, then you're going to pick 4 of us because we're a package deal. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, I came here to play airsoft with my friends.
I'm not separating. That's stupid.
No, yeah, like that's the whole point of going is like I specifically came here to play with these people. Like, why would I want to split up?
Like, that makes no sense.
No, like you don't. I don't want to do that. But so that's just kind of why. And then, obviously from there it kind of formulated into like us forming the team. And I can go into more with that. Before I get your thoughts, I'll say it. I was on a team out of Black Ops, which got essentially shut down due to like inner politics and bullshit that was, it was dumb.
Yeah.
And like nobody wanted to deal with it. So the team ended up getting shut down, but I still wanted that, that team aspect. And I don't know whether if it's just like it's cool to have like a team patch that nobody else has, which I mean, one it is.
Yeah.
But then like you and I just kind of came up with the idea of like, well, let's form our own team of, the 2 of us right now. And then kind of see what we can do. But like what was your aspect on that formation of our team?
So I had more of I had the same basis. So I wanted a group of like-minded people. And I wanted like a similar, what's the word I'm looking for? Like skill set almost. People who had similar experiences. So essentially I wanted a team like with veterans pretty much. And people with some level of training in combat arms. Because like I was an airborne infantryman for 3.5 years. I did dozens of training events, JFEs, joint forcible entries, all that fun stuff, deployed to Afghanistan. So I know if I'm going to go into something like an airsoft match, I want to go in with people that I can communicate with who have the same ability to communicate, and I don't have to like teach people a million things. Like I don't have to teach them this is how you pie a corner, this is how you do radio transmissions. Like if I was going to get into it, I wanted a group of people that you can go into an event. You don't take yourself too seriously, but there has to be I wanted some certain level of what can I actually gain something out of this with the team that I'm in. Apart from just having fun as well, can I also realize, hey, maybe this is something I need to work on as a person. Like maybe I'm not good at, shooting. Maybe my cardio sucks, which we found out in our first game.
Join the club on that one.
Our first game, I found out that, hey, man, if you don't run when you get out of the military, it starts to hurt after a while. And that was a rough time. But, with Airsoft, I feel like there is a certain ability to get more out of it than you would with a lot of other competitive things. Like paintball, you can't really get crap out of that because you're not using anything that's similar to what you would use in real life.
Yeah.
And Airsoft, you kind of have the opportunity to, hey, if you're like me and you're super paranoid about like the government and the collapse of modern civilization, which is going to happen within the next like 50 years and all that jazz, you want to do something that's not just going to be fun, but it's also going to be beneficial. So having a team together with people who will, one, help you learn something new, and two, who will keep you grounded and not take yourself too seriously and still have a fun time with it, then that's super important. That's a super a key thing, I feel like, because if you're just if it was like me and like some like 17-year-old punk and then some like 35-year-old neckbeard parent dwelling Discord mod or something like that, then obviously I'm not going to have a good time because it's going to be like wrangling freaking cats. Meanwhile, if I have a group of people that I know with me, one, I know them on a personal level, two, I know that they have a good skill set, and three, we get along really well when we play, then obviously I'm going to choose that option, like not every single time.
Yeah.
So that was like when you said that, when you asked if I wanted to build a team with you because your old team didn't work out anymore. I was like, yeah. One, because I didn't know your old homeboys, so I didn't know if I'd get along with them. And two, because I was like, we could have a lot of fun with it. And we would have a really good time and learn stuff. And
yeah, I mean, like, obviously, like a lot of people from that team I still airsoft with. Like, I just went to the Lion Claws event, OP Thunderdome out here with like, how many of us were there? There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There was probably like 8 of us there, like from that original team that all still like, go to events and airsoft together and everything like that. And, like, it's fun, but like, it's different with that whole like you were talking about that like almost like team training aspect mentality where like you can actually gain something out of it. Yeah, like me, like it's fun. Like I like the milsim is what I like to do, where it's recreating that stuff and
samesies.
Having those movements over long distances and stuff like that. Like that's fun to me. Maybe not putting weight on them now that my back is dead, but just being able to actually like even do like recon and stuff like that and like legitimate military practices. Like that's fun, which is why I kind of want a team that could give me and give us those aspects of it.
That reminds me of like when we were at Bellahack and you were on the second story giving me directions, telling me where to go. And I led a counter assault with a group of guys that pushed people back through a point in the wall that they had broken into the town with. And we were able to like re-secure everything we'd lost because me and Chris had radio connection and he was telling me like where they were moving and he was also shooting at them. So we were able to move up.
Yeah. Like
secure everything. Like, it was so much fun. But we also like, there was actual like technique in it, kind of thing, which made it even more fun in my opinion.
I feel like that's also like with a team, like a lot of people like, I know a lot of the guys on the team that or the buddies I play with now from the old team, like half of them don't use radios at events. And like I hate that. I like having a radio in and being able to like actually talk to people and communicate because like I need to hear things. Like that's like one of the biggest things of like any type of like airsoft or builds. And even if you're like playing on like weekend play with your buddies, like being able to communicate and move and stuff is like one of the big parts of really like any military exercise ever.
We always used to say we had an acronym for it called SMAC or SMIC, and it was shoot, move, communicate, kill. SMCK, SMAC. And that was like what we'd say. That's the basis of every operation. You need to shoot well, you need to move quickly, you need to communicate very well, and you need to kill everybody you come in contact with.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like with airsoft, it's not different. Obviously, the last one because it's just a hit. I mean, it's a hit. Hopefully, you're not doing the last one for that acronym, but
straight up bayoneting an airsoft field.
But that like communication is key, and it's like why if you have a team, why not communicate? Or if you like to communicate and you enjoy communicating through radios and like you have a group of people that you play with, like. At that point, the opposite. Why not just form a team with them? Mm-hmm. Like, it's making patches too is one, super fun, super cool, and two, it's not like it's hard or expensive. Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't cost a lot. We got 6 patches for what, like $50, something like that, each. Like we each paid $50.
Which ones for the shoulder boards or like the patch?
No. I'm talking like the team patches, not the.
I don't
not
remember how much we paid for those.
It wasn't. I remember it wasn't expensive, and they look cool. And like the whole reason we chose Nomad was that was my battalion's call sign, and then it was your brigades?
Oh, so we had the big reason I wanted it was because of Ghost Recon. But
I mean, yes, that had a factor to play into it too. But
we had so I was with 1508th Parachute Infantry Regiment. Oh, shameless plug here if you're from the sky. But we had everywhere in the 82nd Airborne, which is the unit that I was with my entire career. You had scout platoons, which were your like snipers, recce guys.
Yeah.
And they were, for us, for my battalion, they were called nomads. Actually, I think it was a brigade level thing. All brigade scouts were nomad. So, like, if you had nomad guys attached to you, you'd have Fury, whatever. We were Charlie company, so we were Charlie 2-1 through 2-7 or whatever. But then you'd have just the nomad guys, and it'd be like Nomad 1 was like one scout team, a sniper, and a spotter. The spotter was the one with the radio.
Yeah.
And then you had Nomad 2, which was another sniper team, the Nomad 3. So each team was a nomad with a number because they only had one radio, which was the spotter. That's where I ran into the call sign. I thought it was dope. And then I also loved Ghost Recon at that time as well. So
yeah,
that also made it cooler.
Well, and the symbol was easy. It was like a, cloaked, hooded, I guess nomad would be the right word, not to just like team name, but like, I mean, it was one, cool name. 2, it works. You know what it is it works well on the radio too.
Yeah.
Like my company's call sign when I was in was Archangel.
That's too long.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's stupid. It's too long to be over the radio. I'm not going to come onto the radio and be like, Archangel 1, this is, blah, blah, blah. It's like, it takes so long to get that through the radio. Then you go like AA1, but they didn't want us to say AA because of All American. Because we weren't the 82nd. Yeah, and it's just
then you'd be Alpha Alpha, which at that point, why don't you just make your call sign Alpha?
That's what I'm saying. Like Archangel was super long and dumb. So I was like, let's just go with Nomad. It's quick, easy on the radio. And like I said, I wanted to run it kind of like Spec Ops team where you have like one team, like Nomad team, our team has, 6 people on it minimum.
Yeah.
And I was, minimum. I say minimum as we're trying to get 6 when it's 2 of us right now.
We're working on it. But, it's a new invention.
Yeah. But like at this point, I would like to have at least Nomad 1 through 6
Yeah.
And then have like the overall, like have like, start with that. And then if we get more people eventually on the team, which that's like way down the road, I'm thinking, because if we can get like maybe a third, maybe a fourth right now.
I feel like this summer we just gotta, we gotta pick it up almost kind of thing, Like that's why I really want to go to this event that Bella Hack has at the end of this month. Even if I just go by myself, just to network.
Just to be like, hey, I'm not really here to play. I'm here to network for my team.
Make business cards. And, like, shoot like 6 guys and be like, hey, if you ever want to learn how to do that, just take my card.
Yeah, business cards that we make from like index cards we've got.
It's written.
It's handwritten
in crayon. Join my Airsoft team, please. Smiley face.
Here's our podcast so you can listen how stupid we are, and then if you want to come out and play with us.
Well, yeah, but oh no, I had something and I lost it. What was I going to say? Dang it!
I don't know.
When I do that. Oh yeah. Oh no, it doesn't even matter because it's about radio transmissions.
We passed that, bro.
Signs. Yeah, I know. We're too far past that. But
well, if it's called out call signs, we're not.
Yeah. I was just gonna do a little informational plug, which
oh god, let's wait until we do like a radio episode or something. This is just kind of like broad introducing everything, like with the team, with the podcast.
But I really want to talk about tactics. That's like my favorite thing to do.
Well, we'll do a whole tactics episode of how it like relates. Hey man, you're just spitting out stuff we can plan on keeping this podcast going, even if we get
that's true
0 listeners.
We can do an entire podcast on how I teach you how to do Battle Drill 6.
We'll turn on the video for that one, and we'll bring out a whiteboard. You can draw it.
I will. I love doing that. That was my favorite thing to teach.
But that's just saying, like with the team, it's like one, you're there to play with your buddies.
Mm-hmm.
You're there to communicate and move around and have fun with them. It's like at that point, why not form a team?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it was for us. And like the way, like I said, the way we wanted to organize was after, some special operations groups where you have like an overall arcing, essentially like, whatever. Ours is like, Nightmare 6.
Yeah.
Nightmare. Yeah. Eric Andre plug right there. But
yeah.
Have that overarching Nightmare 6 above each of the teams where, like ours is Nomad team, then you might have, if that team fills up 6 to 8 guys, but you still have some other guys that want to play, then it's like, hey, or if, say we come across somebody at Ballhack, it's like, hey, I have like, I play with, 6 to 8 people. It's like, okay, well then I'm not going to just throw them with us on the team at that point. But like, you guys have like, you want to do that? Like have your own team, like formulate your own team.
And then
if we do that though, now we got to make like Nightmare 6 patches. And then it's just like, now it gets even more. Though. I mean, I'm down to run that.
So that actually was my plan when we talked about Nightmare 6 was to eventually have multiple teams under the control of one command team, which would probably be like you, me, and like 1 or 2 other people. But that's like 10 years.
Yeah, I know. And then the thing with that is then who do we pass on the Nomad?
Whoever we deem worthy, they must fight to the death until only the most worthy 6 remain, and then we build again.
Fight to the death? Yeah. By that you mean fight to whoever gets hit more?
No, to the death. We just throw knives in a pile and we say,
we go get MRE spoons, throw them in a pile. Hey, you guys have to shave these down, and then whoever wins.
Turn it into a shiv and then murder each other. What was I going to say? Dang it, I keep losing my train of thought. So one of the big reasons why, just thinking like team-wise, one of the really big things that excited me is I've always been a huge like person to want to teach and train people.
Yeah.
So like I was saying earlier, it's always great to have like-minded individuals, and I wanted a team with like a lot of veterans in it, but also not completely exclusive to veterans. Because when you join the military, especially when you're in the position to learn in a combat arms, like MOS or school or whatever, like infantry, artillery, forward observers, all that fun jazz, is you have this really cool gift of knowledge of things that not a lot of people know. And I feel like with the way things go in the world, this goes back into me being paranoid, is also my bad. But I feel like it'd be shameful for me to let those things go to waste and to not to keep rehoning them on myself so I don't forget them, but also why not teach somebody how to enter and clear a building? Yeah, they'll probably never use it, but it's a cool skill to have. And it's fun to learn, and it's fun to practice with airsoft guns where you don't have the risk of actually hurting anyone. And why not teach people how to bound and like do platoon attack or anything without having the annoying structure of the military to just be able to do these things that are actually, one, super fun. Like the only reason I got out of the Army was because I hated the Army, but I loved being an infantryman. I loved doing shooter stuff. Why not be able to like kind of spread that out, let people learn stuff, if not just for bragging rights. So some 14-year-old can be like, I learned how to actually enter and clear a building for some weird guy at the airport.
From some weird bearded ex-Army weirdo.
Yeah, he kept talking about how the dirty ATF and FBI are going to kill us and take our guns. But yeah, no, that was a huge part also behind it for me, is because it's like, why not? Why not? Just have fun with these skills. Why not have fun with the skills I learned to kill people? Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like with a team, it's just a lot more fun to play in general. Because then you're definitely playing with people you like. You feel cool wearing a patch.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I think obviously my thought too was, as big of a nerd as I am, was kind of do it like SEAL Team.
Mm.
Where it's like, they have multiple teams under one thing and like do that. But like you said, that's,
way further.
That's way down the road. We don't even have a full team yet. No. It's the two of us. Like we need to get some more people.
Yeah.
But I mean, and then that kind of goes on to that formation of the tax op that we have and like that we've written is like,
link it in the description.
Yeah. Our tax ops in the description. No, you have to be on the team to get the tax op. But like, like we've done like appearance and like markings, like comms, equipment standards, weapon standards, like stuff like that. To where it's like, it's not.
I forgot I read all that.
Yeah, like it's not too much. To where it's like. I like if I was coming in off the street, like I just had a nose there, even as like a big airsofter, and like if I was like, hey, I want to join your team, and then like I got a tax op that basically like, said, like looking at like the table of contents, like appearance, markings, comms, like standardization of equipment, weapon standards. Like I would like first read that and just be like, am I gonna have to go spend a bunch of money and or like have to wear something that I don't want to wear? And that's where I guess it comes down to like with a team. It's like, what's more important? Being on a team and playing with guys you like to play with, or like all looking the same?
Looking good. Absolutely. 100%.
Like
looking good. I think number one, always look cool.
Yeah, but it's like, I think we were fairly lenient with the tax op stuff where it's just like we don't care if you wear like extra camo or have like, a different like platform gun. Like obviously try like it was, more of like different platform stuff. And this also like, kind of segue into that our general discussion we have coming up next of like gear loadouts to kind of close out the podcast. But like, it's like we put a ton of stuff on this as I'm looking at it, but like
I remember I was really bored at work and I was like, I'm just gonna yeet it.
but like realistically, it's most of it was just like standardization, especially like if we go into a mill sim and you're like how we've done it, where like I'm like, you run out of ammo or like, oh crap, I need ammo. Like middle of the fight, I'm not gonna have my buddy next to me dig into my, the backpack on my kit and be like, pull out 3 mags and give it to me. Like, I'll do that at a break. But like, if you need a mag like then and now, if you're black, like I can pull a mag out of my kit.
He means black on ammo, by the way.
Yeah, like if
you're black.
Well, they obviously like that's whatever.
The phraseology there was funny.
Whatever. But, if you're black on ammo, like, I can pull a mag out of my kit and throw it to you, and it'll work in your gun.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why we did that, was more just like it's more of a convenience factor. It's not even like I want you to have this and you have to have this. Like, dude, if you want to come out and run an AK and like that's what you like and you have fun, or you want to run an LMG, like, go for it. So, like, that's fine.
I remember, like, one of the things we used to do in my platoon is you do a lights out drill where, like, you have your kit on and somebody turns out the lights where you can't see dick, and you're supposed to feel around your kit and you know exactly where everything is. So they're like, all right, pull out your IFAK. Boom. You pull out your first aid kit instantly. You know exactly where it is on your kit. You don't have to see it. All right, pull out a mag. Do a mag change. Boom. Mag change into your weapon without being able to see. Like, and then another part to that was, all right, take your kit off, put your buddy's kit on, and see if you can do the same thing. Because the whole point is, like, everybody should be able to use – everybody's stuff should be so similar that everybody could pick up any piece of equipment and use it effectively. Yeah. Right? That doesn't mean, like, everybody's has to be the exact same. It doesn't have to look the exact same. No, but it all has to function in the same way so that, like you said, if crap hits the fan and my homeboy is, like, real life situation, if my homeboy is dead and I'm out of ammo, I know exactly where I have to grab on his kit without even looking to pull out a magazine to use in a firefight, or to exactly where to find the extra ammo he was carrying, or the litter that he had on his back that we need to carry a wounded guy out. Like, whenever anybody goes down or your gun goes down, you know exactly where everything is to make it right and to get yourself back into the fight. Like,
but not even real. Like, that relates to, like, because like you think about, like, a lot of mil sims, like, when you get hit, dead men don't talk. You have, like, a certain bleed out time where, like realistically, if, like, I can't get to you and medic you because, like, rounds are coming in or BBs are coming in, like, I can run over to you, grab mags, run back, be able to actually suppress the enemy, or, hit some of them if you can. Obviously, better option. Yeah. And then be able to go medic you. Like, it's all it's always talked about, like, violence of action in the military. It goes the same way for airsoft. Like, if you have, like, obviously, if you have enough people covering you, like, you can go grab your buddy. But, like, if it's just you and your buddy on, like, a recon mission, you get hit, like, I'd be able to know exactly where your mags are, grab them, get out. That way I have enough ammo to actually lay down suppressive fire to have me or myself, or someone else, like, come over and get you. It's kind of that, like...
Yeah. Or if they're rushing up and you're like, fuck, I don't remember where he put his smoke grenades. It's like, actually, according to our team, we all put smoke grenades in our front pouch or our side pouch. So that limits down to exactly where you need to look on their person to find a smoke grenade, to pop smoke, and then break contact, like, run away. Right?
But, like, the thing is, like, obviously, if you have a way that works for you and you're good at it, like, we're not going to make you completely adjust to what we want to do just because that's how we do. Like, if you're, and like I said, like, this is just high level stuff. We'll go into, like, more, we'll do an episode kind of, like, about our team, and, like, we'll run through that whole tax op in that episode. But, essentially my whole thing is, like, like, if you're good at it, like, if you have a kit and you run it a certain way and you're good at it, then, like, you might as well.
Yeah. And there's only certain things that we require with air quotes.
Yeah, to be loosely require.
Yeah, obviously you're not going to be kicked off the team if you want to put your IFAK on the other side of your body. It's just, we want people to understand there's a methodology behind what you do. Every piece of equipment needs to have a purpose. It needs to matter.
And we're open to change too with that. Like, if you come at us and, like, you have a different way of doing it, it's like, hey, let's try it. Like, I do it this way. Like, would you guys be open to try it and see? Like, yeah, sure. Like, we'll try it. And, like, you know what? If it works better, then that's fine. Like, we can adjust everything. Yeah. But, in terms of, like, weapons and gear and camo that we run, just kind of bring us back to our actual, like, full center podcast. We've been rambling for a while, but I hope our listeners don't mind. But, me, like, I love a Mark 18. So I'll run a VFC, a Avalon Gearbox Mark 18. I usually run multicam, but with Coyote Brown plate carrier, and battle belt. I mean, obviously helmet and ears and everything too, but like really like that, like that's what I run for green camo. Obviously, because you have to have both. I'll usually run like M81 Woodland, or now we have the multicam Tropic, which that's super fun to run.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
But like that's what I run. Like,
yeah,
you.
I'm actually going through a bit of a gear change right now because I started using that SPC. Just running it at home.
Do you like it?
So nice. It's so nice. If you put it on, it just feels like a shell. Like it evenly distributes weight, not just on your shoulders and sides, but across the front too. It's like you're getting a big hug from your body armor.
A big hug.
But so we run very similar loadouts, but slightly different. I'm not a Coyote Brown guy. I'm a Ranger Green guy. I love Ranger Green because Rangers lead the way. You know what I'm saying?
You weren't even a Ranger.
I know I wasn't. I was trained by him, but no, I run just like your typical, essentially like a knockoff Cry multicam because it's too expensive. Uniform. But then, so I don't usually run a battle belt personally. I don't like them too much. But I do put a lot of stuff on my belt, like just my actual belt holding my pants up. I keep my med kit usually towards the back right. Then I have my dump pouch on my belt, back left. And then I have like a horizontal Blue Force Gear mag pouch I keep down there. It holds one extra mag, just like that's like my oh shit mag. But then I run. Now at the moment I run an old Eagle Industries MBAV, which is their old vest that the Rangers used in like 2013 because I love the old 2013 like Ranger bat.
You're going so deep into this gear right now.
I love gear. That's the whole reason I got it.
You're gonna destroy another episode.
Hey, all right, fine. Okay, I'll keep it.
Keep it high level here. We can do more episodes with this.
I believe now I've kind of become under the mindset of camo. Like I like everything to be camouflage. I might even spray paint my gun. I haven't decided yet. But no, I run an Ops Core. I run my Eagle Industries MBAV. Just a bunch of basic loadouts. I try and carry like 6 mags if I can, plus extras in my pack. I have a whole separate kit for when we run Tropic. I'm what in the Army we used to call a gear queer. I love everything about equipment and having multiples of the same thing. So when it comes to multicam Tropic, I have a Ranger Green, essentially it's a knockoff LBT 6094 plate carrier with a bunch of Tropic stuff on it and a whole Tropic cover for my Ops Core that I run. But yeah, no,
gun.
What is my gun? It's a BFC, right?
It's a VFC Avalon. It's
I don't remember what it is.
It's the one I sold to. It's a VFC Avalon.
He sold it to me. I don't know technical info yet about these guns.
It's just their standard like whatever VK Mark. Is yours the Mark II or the Mark? I can't remember.
I don't know.
It's the Mark I or Mark II, but like
it's cool looking, and I have it souped up to look really sexy.
So. But then you're looking at buying the.
I want to buy the VFC HK 416, the golden one. Not actually gold. It's like a flat dark earth, but it's gold. Super nice looking. I'll send that eventually, probably after this next work trip.
Yeah. Because I have an actual Mark 18, and then my backup is the MCX, and then my backup is that like is that like Mark 18 I put together with like 3 different guns that I just found in like my equipment like tub. I think it's like it's an Avalon lower, a Daniel Defense rail I've had since like 2012, and then. The stock is just a random stock. Like it was just like 3 guns. Let's put. I was like, does this gearbox and lower work? And I shot it. I was like, oh, it works. Let me put all this together and see if it actually functions. And it did. It worked. I think it chronoed actually at like 1.3 joules. And I was like, how did this chrono at that? I was like, this is like pieced together from 3 guns, but it works. I'll keep it.
Yeah.
But
my backup's just some old Scar.
it's a VFC.
It's a nice Scar. I just don't like Scars too much.
Well,
so
yeah.
I'm probably gonna sell it.
I was gonna say sell it and then use that money to put towards your HK.
I'm thinking about it. I might just go sell it to Valhack. They won't give me a lot for it, but
yeah. but yeah. Well, I mean, wrap it up from here probably. We kind of went over a lot of stuff. But yeah, that was a pilot episode. Just introduce everything and just kind of like get a sense of who we are as goobers. This is the proper term for the two of us. But we'll go into we'll try to put out an episode every week, if we can. Obviously, schedules dependent, but obviously we'll let people know if we're not going to put out an episode this week. But basically, try to get one out every week. They'll be about different topics, whether it's, gear, airsoft stuff, our team, anything like that. And obviously if
how
people,
the ATF is infringing upon the basic
No.
American rights.
No, we're not.
We're not going to
go into that.
Eventually.
Oh my God. But, if any of our listeners or if anybody who actually will listen to our podcast, as I say listeners and in hopefulness, if any have any ideas, then, shout them out. Like we said, we play at Valhack and Black Ops in, Virginia and North Carolina respectively. So if you want to play Airsoft with us and try for our team, then let us know.
Yeah.
Non-shameful plug.
We are accepting applications. There's a rigorous screening process that may or may not involve a fight to the death. But,
no, it won't. But yeah. Thanks for listening, guys, to BBs Don't Hurt. As we said, it's a Nomad Airsoft Team podcast. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.